Israel's 16-year-old blockade of Gaza already had a severe impact on human rights for the civilian population, leaving the local economy devastated and creating a dependence on aid. The extent of Israel's continued restrictions on entry of aid into Gaza, together with the manner in which it continues to conduct hostilities, may amount to the use of starvation as a method of war, which is a war crime. The projected imminent famine in Gaza can and must be prevented. The alarm bells sounded over the past months by the UN, including our office, have not been heeded. This catastrophe is human-made and was entirely preventable. The situation of hunger, starvation and famine is a result of Israel's extensive restrictions on the entry and distribution of humanitarian aid and commercial goods, displacement of most of the population, as well as the destruction of crucial civilian infrastructure. Dangerous coping strategies are already emerging in the face of starvation. Law and order is breaking down as people become increasingly desperate, and children have reportedly been sent to make the dangerous journey from northern to southern Gaza, unaccompanied in the desperate hope that they will find food and support among the 1.8 million people already displaced there. Israel's 16-year-old blockade of Gaza already had a severe impact on human rights for the civilian population, leaving the local economy devastated and creating a dependence on aid. The extent of Israel's continued restrictions on entry of aid into Gaza, together with the manner in which it continues to conduct hostilities, may amount to the use of starvation as a method of war, which is a war crime. Israel, as the occupying power, has the obligation to ensure the provision of food and medical care to the population commensurate with their needs and to facilitate the work of humanitarian organisations to deliver that assistance. Israel must ensure that the population can access this aid in a safe and dignified manner. International human rights law imposes a similar obligation. The clock is ticking. Everyone, especially those with influence, must insist that Israel acts to facilitate the unimpeded entry and distribution of needed humanitarian assistance and commercial goods to end starvation and avert all risk of famine. There needs to be full restoration of essential services, including the supply of food, water, electricity and fuel. And there needs to be an immediate ceasefire, as well as the unconditional release of hostages. It's ultimately up to a competent court to make any judgment on the genocide aspect. We will and continue to provide information to the relevant courts if requested. And there, of course, are other, apart from the ICJ and ICC, of course, there's the Commission of Inquiry as well, which is investigating incidents which have occurred in Israel and Gaza. So it ultimately is up to those competent authorities.
When it comes to crimes against humanity, it says that it is an act that can cause great suffering or serious injury to body or mental or physical health. Considering that, is it fair to say that it could also lead, the situation right now in Gaza could also lead to crimes against humanity? Is it something that you're in a position to express?
Yes, thanks for your question. So both collective punishment and starvation of the civilian population as a method of war are war crimes. Full stop. But when it becomes slightly more complicated. We tend to leave the definitive pronouncement of clear indications that starvation is being used as a weapon of war to the courts, to the competent courts. That wouldn't be for us to make that judgment.